Greetings and welcome to a Friday edition of the Shotgun Start. It is February 6th. Andy, how we doing?
Brendan, I'm doing all right. I'm ready for the Super Bowl, you know?
You're ready for the Super Bowl. All right. Who do you think's going to win?
I don't know. I'm kind of hoping for the Hawks, the Seahawks.
Sports fans everywhere, just taking in a great
Seattle.
American.
I feel like Seattle's easy to root for.
Yeah, I wouldn't dispute that notion. I think probably some people in the NFC West would. Your neighbors, friends and neighbors in San Francisco area might. Los Angeles people, I don't know. But yeah, I don't have any great animosity or offense taken with anything Seattle.
And they had their NBA team just ripped away. I just feel like they deserve something. The Mariners never win, never get over the line. They need this.
Doesn't seem like an obnoxious fan base in any way, shape, or form. I'm sure they are. Everybody has obnoxious people, but yeah, I was a diehard Supersonics fan growing up. Like, just that was my thing. I got on that corner with Sean Kemp. Yeah, I had a Sean Kemp jersey. Back before you could buy, like, the internet didn't exist. My uncle had to go to lived in Seattle, sent me sent a starter jacket from wherever, Sears, JCPenney, Macy's, and I had a Seattle Supersonics starter coat in Cleveland, Ohio. And it was like an alien. You couldn't find those anywhere. But I've always had an affinity for Seattle since growing up being a big Sonics fan. So I guess it's awesome.
Sorry, my Bulls crushed your Supersonics heart and your Cavs heart.
The biggest, even then, when there was someone in Cleveland that jumped on the Bulls banner, honestly, it would make third grade me, my blood boil. That is the biggest fraud, fake. It'd be like some kids nowadays becoming a Chiefs fan, yesterday. And it was, we would have Cleveland be, and it would the Cleveland Cavs were good then. And there would be I remember, just the most thin-skinned, weak moral fiber kids would be oh, I like the Bulls. I was like, that is the biggest bogus move.
I can assure you.
What?
Nobody's jumping on the Bulls bandwagon these days.
What happened? Deadline day.
I mean, we can talk about this later. We do not need to talk about this now.
I'm just mad.
It's a complete joke of a franchise. It is you talk about the 90s and being a kid and growing up with the Bulls and Michael Jordan to where we are now. And it's just it's so sad. So sad. Jerry Reinsdorf should be ashamed of himself.
Yeah.
The Reinsdorfs should be forced to sell the team. They're outrightly damaging the value of the NBA by just, completely ruining the Bulls.
Well, we'll be in town next week. Maybe we can get some reconnaissance going. Maybe do a covert ops operation, covert ops intel gathering mission on the Reinsdorfs. That might force them to sell, similarly to what was done with Daniel Snyder in my adopted hometown.
I think figure
that out.
Donald Sterling is maybe a little bit worse than Jerry Reinsdorf, but
I mean, probably based on the record and legal documents. I don't know, though. I'm sure we could figure something out. We'll be there next week. Space tickets available. We don't need to talk about that again. February 12th, Space. We'll be in Evanston. We'll be there sooner than that. We're going to be bouncing around Chicago all next week for
I got to get Cameron our schedule. I have. I said I was going to do that. Then I got roped into some stuff, and still haven't gotten that schedule to him.
That's all right. We'll get there someday. We'll maybe when we show up. Leading in Phoenix, hard left turn is Chris Gotterup, right? Big time player who shows up and plays to win. Obviously everybody plays to win. You play to win the game. It's Herm Edwards, but he tends to do it more than others for his current age and his quick sort of assimilation into an upper crust on the PGA Tour. There's a long way to go in Phoenix, but he went out 8 under. Conditions only supposed to become more lenient, more benign over the next 3 days. This was allegedly going to be the hard day, but he shoots a 63. You also had Matt Fitzpatrick, I think was 7 under through his first 7, maybe 8 holes. He's runner up, but Gotterup, shortly after winning Sony, is right back at the top of another leaderboard.
Yeah, I was wondering about him the last 2 weeks as a pick. He's a stud, and it's fun. It's always fun to watch a player ascend.
Yeah.
We'll see if that is is what he's doing right now. Obviously, it's one round in. You never, but he's making a habit of showing up, and I think this is like, you have the Genesis Open or Scottish Open that is a big time event. I would say this is the other one that's like the biggest event that's not a elevated event.
Interesting. That's probably a good debate to have. Yeah, it was that 1 year, I think, first year, and then it got shifted to Pebble. This is up there. It certainly has its identity. Doesn't need any extra, elevation or extra, we're going to force more money in, onto the table to make guys come. So it's working out. Hideki is also lurking. So beware of your Sunday afternoon plans. Hideki early on, playing well in Phoenix, as he always does.
I mean, if you're into the next wave of golfers, this first round leaderboard is for you. And I think this tournament has a platform that others don't, even signature events.
Yeah.
It has a platform that the Travelers doesn't. It has a platform
Quail
Hollow doesn't. Yeah, it has a platform that reaches like more of the common golf fan.
Mm-hmm.
Its timing is awesome, where it's before the Super Bowl. Now, if it goes to playoffs and runs into the Super Bowl, it's not great. But for the tournament, how it exists, I think this is a place that can launch stars and can move players up in their profile with fans. And you look at this leaderboard, and I think one of the hardest parts about being a young player in today's day and age, it's so corporatized that like these guys don't really say anything, and they're rarely, in the spotlight unless they're contending at majors. And you look at between Gotterup, Thorbjornsen, Koody, Højgaard, there are a lot of guys on this board that are RNPs right there. Both Højgaards really, that could become a darling with a win here, where they kind of burst into a different stratosphere of fandom.
Yeah, I think that's fair to say. Brooks Koepka,
Jake Knapp, young Jake Knapp is also there. But I think he's already done that.
Who's calling him? Are we calling him young Jake Knapp now? Does somebody refer to him as that?
I mean, last year everyone was like, "This is a budding superstar."
Right,
it's like,
right,
he's 30 years old.
I love John Perry, English journeyman, back on via the top 10 is back, and he's making hay on the PGA Tour.
I feel like Satsuni is just a regular PGA Tour event assassin.
I'd have to dig into the crosstabs there, but he's certainly popped for this podcast more than you would imagine. Ryo Hisatsuni. He's always kind of lurking around. Not lurking is Scottie Scheffler, his first over par round since the Travelers Championship last June on the PGA Tour. I don't believe he talked to the media after his round. Had a little chip mishap. That ball rolled back to his feet on 18, and he was very emotive, kind of shaking his club at the ground and other inanimate objects around him. It's kind of interesting. These guys are shooting whatever. The leader shot 63. It's just a handful of rounds in the 67 or lower. The short grass was a little dicey today. I watched Colin Morikawa lay the sod.
The ryegrass is causing problems.
I don't know. It was a little wet. I saw a handful of chipping scuffles and struggles around the green. Morikawa laid the sod over one. It went 12 inches if it went a foot in front of him. They were talking about I almost hit it twice. From they said it was a little wet, a little moist. But yeah, there was you had to make shots, as you always do at Phoenix. And you know what? If guys are going to bitch and moan about it, there was a 63 out there and a million 67, 66s. So
who made some shots? Impressive round one. Our guy, AJ Ewart
nearly
two
jarred it
under.
on 16. Nearly made an ace on 16. We have a line on his father, who you documented via his bio. Like, I have his contact
His bio
information.
isn't an AJ Ewart bio. It's a Brad Ewart.
I have Mr. Brad's contact information. I'm told he would be a fabulous guest. Has a lot of Mo Norman stories and a run-in with Jumbo Ozaki. So we may, as this all turned out, you just started reading down the bio. May turn out to have the father, the old man, on the podcast someday.
I think we've learned over the years, it's never a bad idea to just head over to the PGA Tour bio and start reading.
Favorite movie. The Matrix 3 or whatever it is. Yeah, there's just a lot of stuff going on there. PJ, Ewart did get bounced from the Koepka Mule accounting, did he not?
He did. He was second on the alternate list to begin with. So now it's Marcelo Rozo, the legend from Q School, and Toasty as a result of JJ Spawn's WD. So Toasty's still in.
So it's basically Brooks versus all of South America at this point. The Colombian and
P Cup preview.
All right, there we go.
I've got bad news. It looks like Toasty and Rozo are probably heading for MC Hammers.
Well, Brooks is already there.
Brooks,
so.
Brooks is golden opportunity for the Mules.
It was a layup for the Mules.
Brooks is near DFL. I mean, he switches.
Still got every shot treatment from what I saw.
Oh, it's all over. He's all over the place.
He's playing with the best player in the world,
Cameron Young. He's been fun to watch. Cam Young.
So Cameron Young, you were puffing. You were getting chesty on our group text. PJ 100th event,
100th start. I would like to see Brendan poke a hole in that one.
Are you proud of the 100th PGA Tour start?
How could you not be? I'm proud of round numbers. Number 100 for Mr. 1000.
Are you proud of the 1% win percentage? Did was my math right?
Don't love that. You might have got me there. I won't try to do that. I'm gonna remove myself now.
I was like Snoop and Chris walking you down the alley. You just didn't even know what was gonna happen.
Cam Young's had been fun to watch golf his ball. Recovery shots. He's been fun to watch. Incredible chip shot. As we talked about some of the chip struggle. I know it's Rye, but he was he had a horrible lie in the rough. So he's been fun to watch this afternoon. Koepka though, Koepka might be returning to old Koepka. More of a terse press conference on Tuesday. The whole emotional routine, the gratitude, slowly whittling away, as one would expect. To be quite frank, and his play has not been good for a second week in a row. Made the cut last week. Does not look like he'll make the cut, but there's time. Switched to a putter. Switched to putter to
right?
The Spider-Man, Spider-Boy mallet deal from TaylorMade. Getting on that train with Scottie, Rory, others who've gone
Brian
that direction. Was that? Did he use the spider? He used some spaceship
spider.
Right?
I think that's a different version of the spider.
Okay.
Giant version of
old
the spider.
School, different, older.
Maybe
but has it paid
called the what's the tarantula?
Like a bigger species or subspecies of spider. Yeah. Like we had to learn all those the class of classification system growing up. He's near dead last in putting, strokes gained putting. So let's just get really reactionary to one round. He's bad.
He's been talk about the broom.
He's been poor off the tee. He's just been bad today. But more surprisingly, I suspect, is Scottie not playing well. He didn't talk to the press, bypasses it. I don't know. He's a 2-1 favorite to win. Just didn't have a good day. So some big names, Colin Morikawa continuing to struggle based on early returns. But as you noted, a good leaderboard for the ready to break out, ready to become a catnip star. But some stars did struggle earlier. Anything else from Phoenix?
Yeah, there's something. Today commenced the NHL players break
taken
from for the Olympics, for the Winter Olympics.
Correct.
I'm wondering if Kevin Waugh is going to break with his and go watch the Canadian team with his dad, or if he's going to keep playing PGA Tour golf.
He's playing good golf. I don't think
he's T7. He's T7. It's a storyline to watch.
He shined in Hawaii. I don't know. I don't think it'd be a good idea to go to Italy, where
Cortino
looks like everything's half done there. You see the sham of a hockey arena. It's like it looks ridiculous. It's like, a couple. It's kind of
like the SoFi, the first attempt at the SoFi Dome,
which I analogize to like a Spirit Halloween store. It's just like temporary. They've moved in. It's just a concrete space, and they drop some stuff in there. Yeah, that looks like an underwhelming hockey arena. You're gonna have all the best players in the world. Maybe they'll finish it by next week. That does it for Phoenix Open. My favorite moment of Phoenix Open was the new Players Championship slogan. Did you see this in commercials? March is going to be major. With a highlight reel of 17.
Man, they just can't. They cannot help themselves.
I feel like the Players has been on a great trajectory by not trying to declare itself a major. They kind of really got away from that maybe 8 years ago or so, and you just
everything
let it be.
Comes back. We talked about this a couple episodes ago. Everything's cyclical. Here they are. Maybe they smell blood in the water with the PGA, and we can get to the PGA. Maybe they listen to this podcast where we kind of asked the question if the Players was bigger than the PGA.
It's like every so often, like the regime that wasn't there for all the POWs and the battles and the lives lost from 10 years ago, they weren't around, and now a new regime comes on, and that scar tissue isn't there, those bad memories aren't there, and they're like, oh, we should go down this road. Let's go. Let's do it. Let's do March is going to be major. And so we're back now. We're back declaring ourselves major, and the blowback will be, I don't know, probably sufficient. It just cuts into the own
great
brand. The great brand they've built is like a really cool, awesome, elevated, significant something other event. And just telling people it's a major is not great. Anyways, that's out.
This just came across my desk. I've acquired some audio from the meeting room where it was decided.
Man, we sure are spitballing, aren't we, Rich? Man, we sure are
all right. We'll be down there.
You must have signed off on this.
We're making arrangements to go down to the Players. We should be back. I don't know if that makes it a major or not a major, but we're excited to get back.
I had a oops-a-daisy with our arrangements for the Players. A little whoops-a-daisy. I got to stop booking travel.
Business Pete would probably concur with that statement.
I booked our Airbnb. I found a place. I was like, wow, this is a great price. Booked it. And then like 2 days later, I was looking at my Airbnb app and I was like, oh, I booked it for like February 8th instead of March 8th.
Hence the good price, apparently. Should we just do a trip to
well, I canceled, didn't get all of it back. Got a portion of it. Definitely cost us $1,000. So
that's tough. Go to good luck.
I mean, we're going to take it. We're going to take it out of PJ's allowance in Chicago.
All right, there we go.
Think of how many tokens for the batting cage that could have bought me.
PJ's very interested in going to Murphy's in Wrigleyville to go hit the batting cages. I think we'll have to do that and put it on social.
The place just outside Murphy's bleachers. The place just outside.
I don't know. I see TikToks cages all the time. They got batting cages outside of Wrigley. I'm ready.
I don't think I've ever gone in. Looked like too much of a tourist trap, or too much of it. I don't know. I didn't go in. I've had beers maybe outside. So we're falling on hard times. We got a little less money than we had the day before because of our mishap. One way we could recoup it is if you would be so kind as to sign up for an event. I'm not here on the street begging with a tin cup, but this is an ad read for our good friend Will Knights, fellow colleague at Friday Golf. He runs our events, has done so does in an excellent manner. I mean, he's got years of experience now. We just keep getting better and better and better and trying to make these more valuable for the attendee, more dialed and tuned in. Will has been around the block now several times and has done a great job with our events. He is now alleging in these notes I'm supposed to read that Friday events may have overtaken Friday Golf Club for the hottest club in town. Are we having some internecine conflict within the company? Do you want to start getting different branches?
You know what? I don't like this energy from Will at all. He's our community manager. He's supposed to be on both of these teams.
He's supposed to be on both. It says Prairie Dunes, Tamarack, Pasatiempo, Mountain Ridge are launching soon for registration. We have a handful of spots. Like, what is a handful? Like, what does that mean? That sounds like a very sort of ambiguous term that I might throw out. A handful, several. Is it handful is 12? Is it 6? Is it 3? He says there's a handful of spots available at Soul Park and Lookout Mountain. Everything else is at capacity. Unlike Friday Golf Club, the bouncer will not let you in. You can check out thefriedegg.com/events for more details, or email Will at events@thefriedegg.com with any questions. You can just email him with any questions about anything. It doesn't have to be event related. Just start emailing him questions. But yeah, he's done a great job. Check out the events.
Hey, before the Chicagoans get upset, I misspoke. It's Sluggers. PJ wants to go to Sluggers with batting cages.
Sluggers. What a original.
Getting my Wrigleyville bars confused.
It's fine. It's completely fine.
God, I haven't been to Wrigleyville in a time that didn't involve a Cup game in a really long time. It would be
right.
I mean, the place has to be empty.
Right. I would think
Sluggers when the Cubs aren't playing.
Right. You got 81 chances, and you just rack it all up. Right. It's like be
good. We can get a lot of cuts in.
There's no line for the cages. God, that'd be depressing. It's gonna be that's so depressing.
Honestly,
we're not going there. Come on.
Whoa. Time out. Who is we are not going there? You don't have to come. It sounds like Andy wants to take some hacks.
I'm a little worried about being sore from taking hacks.
Yeah. Do they have a radar gun? Who's the Fanatics fella who just threw it off the side of the net and topped out at 33?
Rubin.
Yeah. Just buying friends and celebrities. I like the radar gun one, but then that's how you throw your shoulder out. I'll do that with my kids, at a Nats game, and it's I'm gonna reach back on this one. That's how you get hurt. So they do the radar gun. The cage is less slow. But all right, so we'll go to Sluggers, or someone will. Maybe we'll see.
It sounds like Sluggers. The batting cages range from 40 to 80 miles an hour.
We got to tune it up to 80 for PJ.
Dude,
80 is so fast.
Dude, I haven't seen 80 since high school.
I know when you're 15, jarring. It's all right. But now
that's gonna be a shock to the system.
I sat really low for a game, a baseball game. And I don't think I could hit a major league. I don't think I could ever. I could be up there all day.
No.
Oh.
But likewise, you think about all the athletics. Golf is unique. A 35 handicap could beat Rory on one hole or Scottie on one singular hole. They could. It's maybe completely fathomable for them to beat someone on a par 3.
It's possible.
I think if anybody
35 handicap, I guess yes,
it's completely fathomable. They can just run one up and it'd be close. In basketball, I don't think that any lay person could get even a shot off against an NBA player.
I think that's right.
And if people are I don't think you could even just check the ball and shoot a 3. I don't think
this is very big. This is a lifelong argument that me and my core group of friends have. Is one-on-one 5 minutes with Harrison Barnes as the example we use. Could you score?
And
it's like a 12-3. 12 of the 15 think they can, and it's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
Way.
He's like,
I don't even think he'd get a shot off.
6'8", rangy, athletic. Like, no,
I don't think he'd get a shot off.
No, there's no way. There's no way. If they locked in, you don't even get a shot off, or like your shot is like so feeble. So, anyways, like hockey, if you try to skate at someone and get past a hockey defender, they would just take the puck from you. But anyways, I'm trying to think, like, is golf the only athletic endeavor where it's completely feasible that you could beat the best player in the world in a very small sample size?
Maybe. I mean, I wouldn't mind like meeting Ramondre Stevenson in the hole. You know, I think you could do that.
No way.
I'm kidding. Kenneth Walker in open space. I don't know. I think that's fun.
It's the only athletic endeavor. I think that this is like think about racing a running race against a high level runner.
Yeah, no.
You would never. You know, these marathon runners run faster than you could sprint a mile. Like a normal person could sprint a mile.
I wonder what like the greatest disparity is. Like baseball pitching is up there. Honestly, I think like sneaky one is like soccer. You're like, nope. All right, nope. Like a top level, like what just happened? We're like the speed and everything is crazy. But yeah, I agree with you. Golf is maybe a chance. You have a slice of a chance. I took my kids to like one of these Funland deals, and I turned on the highest, and I was like, I shouted, "Holy shit!" It was like it was like 84, and it was like honestly, I didn't see it, and it was a big bang off the pad behind you. I screamed.
That's 84 and straight.
Holy shit!
If you're playing anybody at a professional level,
course.
84 is not straight.
Of course, I couldn't believe
even worse.
All right, we're gonna do an update.
Apparently, sluggers can get up to 90.
I would probably piss myself if I saw 90. Like, just let's be honest.
I think we got to go now and just get PJ in the cage.
I think we got to do this like for every sport. Try to set it up over the course of a year. I think you got to do Oklahoma drill. Get PJ in pads. Get Harrison Barnes.
PJ is the person.
If there are if anybody wants to volunteer, you know where to find us. So shoot us an Instagram DM, Twitter. If any athlete out there wants to volunteer, I'm open.
Who's the Broncos tackle McGlinchey? You had a fried egg hat in the locker room. Let's do an edge rush against McGlinchey. Let's try to set that up. He had a fried egg.
I mean, that would be hilarious, honestly. Like, you're down in a 3-point stance and trying to get around the corner.
Are you going to bull rush or speed rush, PJ?
No, I got to get the hands. I got to hit the
hand fight.
Little slap. Get the hands out of the way and go.
Oh,
get me to phone booth. I don't know if he can handle me. I don't know if he can do it.
I mean, I think Justin Steele's an egghead. The Cubs pitcher. Maybe we could get in the. Oh, this would be an incredible challenge.
This could be a good series.
This could be
a good series.
Alex Caruso's an egg follower. He'd be a good guy to try and score against.
Yeah,
I mean that's the peak of NBA defense, quite literally.
I think that would be like the most nightmarish for any lay person is Alex Caruso, because he can guard. They have him try and guard Wembanyama, and then like for a little guard, he like hounds little guards.
In the world, that is potentially the hardest possible person that you could go against.
Because he's such an elite NBA defender. All right. Fun little digression.
I think
we'll see everybody at Sluggers.
Might be the one that I don't like. Lou Dort would just
who would be the best to go up against? Who is like the most lackadaisical, laissez-faire?
Zach LaVine.
He's like 6'7", 6'6", and athletic as hell.
But he doesn't care.
I wonder if James Harden, you could just catch sleeping. New Cav, James Harden. Just catch
that's
sleeping.
Your guy.
Launch
James
a three. Launch a three before he can contest. You probably could, quite frankly. So that might be your chance. All right.
We'll have to do this.
We'll set it up. We'll set it up. Do this over the course of a year. Make it.
I think the thing that I'm excited about is that I've gotten to. I think I might be too old to partake in the challenges. You know, I was shooting jumpers on my neighbor's hoop the other day, and I jumped, and I was like, "Did I just pull my calf?"
I don't know. I'll be at my kids' practice.
Set jump shots. Might have pulled the calf.
That's tough. Also tough. LIV Riyadh. LIV Riyadh is off and running 2 rounds into that. Is there Ewing theory issues?
Big free agent haul.
He lost to DJ Miguel Tabuna. He didn't. I wonder if they told him, look, whatever you do, you cannot beat the boss. You cannot beat the boss. You got to fall in line behind DJ. You can't beat him. He's T37, Miguel Tabuna. I know everybody listening to this was curious for that. Talor, Gooch, and Smash are leading as a team and an individual. I know PJ is talking about Ewing theory, the Bill Simmons bit on this. They lose Brooksy. Brooksy is mired in a slump in the West Coast swing, and there's Talor and Smash flying high in
Sam
Riyadh.
Presti and Smash.
Yeah, Sam Presti and Smash. DFL, Matthew Wolf, Bubba Watson. So range goats are just a disaster, but they do have some new initiative with Freddy's Frozen Custard. I got a press release about that. So they're last and second to last, but they've got a new initiative with Freddy's Frozen.
That deal's almost a year old. They that came out right around the Masters last year, because I remember talking about Freddy's Frozen Custard with some people under the tree.
Yeah, at Augusta. People, it's the talk of the Masters, Freddie Frozen. Elsewhere, Rahm and Gooch are not happy with the OWGR. We got this from the initial statement. They've since gone on the record. Gooch says, obviously, I don't think the right thing was done, which is not any different than what we've experienced here at LIV for the last 4 or 5 seasons now. It'll be interesting. So everything, the wrong thing's been done to LIV for 4 or 5 years. I think anybody who says the right thing was done and the fair thing was done, I don't think they're in tune with the reality of things. So, we've got LIV boys saying other people aren't in tune with reality. Rahm said he didn't think it was fair, didn't think it was right. Westy is, turned his gun on the media again, saying the media treatment of LIV has just been abominable the last 4 or 5 years. So, we're back to grievance merchantry. Gooch says we're not dealing with reality. Rahm's not happy, and Westy's bad at the media coverage. So, you got points. I guess just be happy. I don't know. Maybe no. I guess they have their right to argue their case, but they got their points. Elsewhere, Scott O'Neill says it's going to be 5 to 10 years, which I would say is a big gap. So it's a sizable range, 5 to 10 years for the league to be profitable. But there's a commitment long-term to this business. I would just say I'm not necessarily seeing long-term commitment from some of the other Saudi projects at the minute. So, the ground under your feet could shift quickly. I know his book is Be Where Your Feet Are. Seems like that could shift quickly. But he says 5 to 10 years before they're profitable, which, 5 is a lot less than 10. It's a big range. That's LIV Riyadh check-in. Do you have any reaction?
5 to 15. Why stop at 10?
Who cares? Yeah, I stop at 10.
I don't have anything. I'm looking forward to the FS2 numbers.
On DP World Tour, Daniel Hillier and Patrick Reed are tied in the Qatar Masters.
He is a menace
in the Middle East, rampaging. Just collecting trophies and cash in the Middle East. Patrick Reed. He's beating the likes of Oliver Lindell. I know one of your favorites, Gregorio DeLeo, Angel Ayora, who's just becoming. Everybody's getting in that bandwagon. Joachim Lagergren, Kazumi Kabura, others, and the Piss Bear Jr. So yeah, Patrick Reed, right back, just making hay. Also, by the way, they did say he will play the Genesis Scottish Open, as that's technically a PGA Tour event. So
he's got that race to Dubai standings probably exemption that they're just penciling him in for.
That's the DP World Tour example.
I had a write-in. A friend of the program sent me a text. So this is a pretty obvious take here. The P. Reed situation is the last time in our lifetimes, for those that are nostalgic about the European Tour, that a legitimate top 20 player will play exclusively on the European Tour.
It's interesting. That's interesting. Yeah, I mean, I watched that roundtable recently with the Great Five or the Fantastic Five, obviously sans Seve. And I was just, those days are so long and gone, even though they try to hang on to them, and it's worth remembering and commemorating. I guess the other way it could happen is if some, DP World Tour rookie goes ham, right? Or some young guy.
Are we no longer bench heads? He got up to like 26 in the world.
I mean, P is 25 and he played on a tour that didn't get points.
Yeah. No.
Yeah. He's in it again at the Qatar Masters. Feels like he's back on his way to the top 10, even just playing DP World Tour events. Not a lot of points available. That field is weak.
So he's not eligible for let's just like game this out. If P just dominates, if he's 10th in the world, he's not eligible for signature events. He's not going to be in them.
He's not a member. No. You mean like Quail Hollow this year, this May and June and these things? No, he's not. I think that they have that top 30, but I don't think he's.
What if he becomes like a top 5 player in the world? Do you think they like figure out a way to get him in?
I think you can go view him at the Maiden Himmerland Challenge or whatever it's called. You don't need to go to Travelers. Go see the world.
Who's going to be the P stopper? Is it just Freddie Schott? Is he the only P stopper out there?
So far, Callum Hill got a one playoff hole ahead of him before he hit the hooks and janks. But maybe
somebody's got to step up and stop P.
DVT is back in the mix. Danny Von Tonder and Dick Sterney. Like Dick Sterney. If you're Jeff Ogilvy, you got to take a look for Medina Sterney.
Hey, I'm sorry for you. You were so early on Angel Ayora.
That's fine. It's fine.
I'm just sorry. Everybody's got his hooks in them now.
This is the way the world works. He's amazing, but I'm out. Everybody else can celebrate him. Pretty soon he's going to be in one of these pairings with, today they've got Homa, Damon, and Keith Mitchell. Just kind of like social media darlings. I don't know. It happens. That's how
it feels like. It feels like somebody that was like into Minwoo Lee 6 years ago.
Yeah. Yep.
You eventually lose them. It's got to feel a little bit like when your kid goes to college.
I thought I'd have like another year or two, just Ayora appreciation before everybody got on board, or at least this summer. But no, there's like sick. You won't believe him. All this stuff. All right, it's fine. On to the next. Speaking of on to the next, the PGA of America is on to its next CEO. This was announced Wednesday, I believe. Terry Clark, Chief Marketing Officer of United Health and Optum, and an independent director, I believe, or independent board member, independent director, I think is the term, of the PGA of America for the last year and a half, 2 years. So he was already sort of in the building, in the family, had some knowledge, has been appointed as CEO, taking the place of Derek Sprague, who resigned and walked off his position at the start of January. So, joining Don Rea at the top of the food chain in the partnership, president and CEO, is Terry Clark.
We haven't heard what Don Rea has to say about Terry.
Well, the press release, as Shupak and others noted, muzzled. They went to Nathan Charnes. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it. Charnes. Nathan Charnes gave the quote. He's the vice president. What is this? The vice president is giving the quote about the new CEO. is Rhea been like caged somewhere in like Augusta Ranch? Like, what are they doing? Why isn't he? He's the president for like 9 more months. It's not like he's going out next week. This is ridiculous. This is like, JD Vance being the one to comment on Maduro stuff. Like, what are we doing? Where's the president?
Don?
Where's
Free
Don? Where's Don? We're as purveyors of the content.
Where's Wallace? The Where's Wallace of golf is Where's Don?
I mean, it's purveyors of content. This is not a good development. I didn't ask for Nathan Charnes. I don't want this. I want Don Rhea. Nobody wants Nathan Charnes. I mean, I'm sure he'll be great in a year, but not right now. And you bet your ass.
Also, yeah, people want to know what Don thinks of this hire. I can't form my opinion until I know what Don says.
All I know is we get to Rodhamick in May, and Don's not up on that dais. There's going to be problems. There's going to be problems in that press tent. You better get his ass up there and let him flow.
I think there's a real chance that might happen.
That's not fair. The guy, worked his whole life to become president.
I'm worried. I'm concerned. I would like a proof of life from the president.
Well, we know he was holding court at the PGA show. Not in a...
maybe when word got out that he was holding court at the PGA show, they silenced him even more.
All right. But there's a new leader, new CEO. This is probably a pretty welcome return to some recent precedent in that someone you're leading a whatever it is, multi-million-dollar, call it a Fortune whatever company. It's an trade association, but it's a major company, complex. Let's not get the guy teaching lessons, wherever. And so Derek Sprague, obviously he'd been in a leadership role and understood some complex management stuff. But this is more in line with recent stuff, like Pete Pavakwa coming in as an executive from the outside, and obviously Seth Waugh as a very extended and experienced executive coming in from the outside. And then they did that left turn, like we're going for one of our own, a member, Class A pro, and Derek Sprague. This is not that. This is a return to recent precedent. Seems like a good move for the PGA.
Yeah, I think this is a great move. I think they need, reading the tea leaves, I think, the organization under Seth Waugh kind of bubbled, and it was almost like the pros wanted to take it back. And then they saw the world with the pros back in charge. And maybe that wasn't a world that they want to be in anymore. To me, they have to have a business person in charge of this role. This is $1 billion plus organization. They have these incredible assets, but they, while they have that, they also have a complete disaster of a membership crisis going on. And you need somebody that can figure out how to bridge that situation where you have like incredible assets that continue to grow in value. Like live events have never been so valuable, and they happen to they got the Ryder Cup for free, effectively. And they sit on this PGA championship, and they have these two incredible assets, but it's a completely different business. Running championships and running a trade organization are two completely different businesses. And you need to have somebody who's competent at the top that can understand how to kind of navigate a very, very tricky and complex business situation. So to me, the PGA has immense opportunity, huge potential. If somebody can go and straighten out the trade organization and figure out how to modernize the PGA of America, because the PGA of America, frankly, is stuck in 1980. And they need to modernize the membership. They need to modernize. They need to build ancillary businesses and create alternative paths that make being a PGA pro a more desirable position and a better job across the board, because they do have like a very fundamental role in the sport.
Critical
role in the sport. And frankly, the leadership of the PGA of America over the last 30 years has failed to adapt to modern times and create a modern business that supports these pros in more ways. Like, these pros could be so well supported if the PGA can figure this out. And I think there are a lot of like really interesting, tangible ways from a business standpoint that the PGA could straighten this out. And it's going to require a leader that has like a little bit of vision and can think outside the box. And I think that's like why you have to hire this role from outside of golf.
Yeah, it's interesting. They've always on the competitive events they run, they were always like a few years behind, or in the 80s, as you noted, like the leaderboard, the website, the app, which I think has gotten a lot better. The coverage on TNT starting at 3:00, when everything else was already get ballooned to 12 hours a day. Like, I think they've pretty quickly caught up because they had to and were forced to. But they just had a super unserious year, a really unserious year, starting with, the bozo routine that Don did at Quail Hollow, ending with like, whoa, it's this bad on both sides of the Atlantic, and like sort of the silence and apathy from leadership around the crowd chaos at the Ryder Cup. It was not a good year, and they needed like an adult in the room. And I think that's hopefully what they have here. On the trade side, you're right. Like to crib Don, of course it was a preposterous framing, like the first responders of golf. Of course that's like an insane sort of analogy. But they are right there. They are the front line, or they are the potential, like they have this grassroots connection more than many other organizations and how do you harness that? And because one thing we've always said is, like with any massive organization, what it was were these kind of members who were like politicians that would rise to power, like self-serving, that aren't necessarily looking after, like, that's not their priority. It's like, I'm going to collect the high six.
Are you talking about Don Rea?
Mid-6, high six-figure salary and be this politician and do all this stuff. Like, I don't know. They're not really there anymore. They understand the, the frontline job, maybe, but that's not necessarily their priority once they get in power. And so what do you think the opportunity is with the trade side, with the membership side? What do you think that is? Just modernizing it in a way that's...
I think you sit on an incredible, if you think about PGA pros, like they have a direct connection to golfers. And I don't want to like speak out of turn here in terms of like just ideas that are possible. But like, to me, if I was running the PGA, I would be thinking about like, how do I capitalize on our, what we do by being a big part of golf projects that are relevant to PGA pros and make their lives easier, better, more organized. Like, to me, a product that jumps to mind is Golf Genius, right? This is a product that's become wildly successful. It has reached so many PGA pros, helped them so much. And if the PGA was like on it, they would have seen this coming, and they would have said, hey, let's help you get this out to PGA pros, and let's get involved with the business. And can we get a portion of this business? We are going to get this out. And then all of a sudden it's like, hey, we're developing, we're helping build these products, and we're getting ownership in return. And that can be pumped back to our members. Like, what they need to do, they need to build benefits for golf professionals that go beyond just the jobs that they have, right?
Yeah.
I think like what we've seen in the last couple of years is like the life of a golf pro can't be solely dependent on the small business facility, which is most of the cases. It's municipalities and small businesses. Like there are, we'll call it 300 extraordinary head pro jobs in the country, but there are 31,000 members. How do we lift up, the jobs? How do we create an organization that lifts up the jobs of those bottom 20,000 members? How do we create programs and identify things that we can get upside in order to make the baseline benefits of being a head pro or an assistant pro better? How do we make like just sheerly like becoming a pro easier? These are all things that need to happen. How do we reduce, the fees that are associated with being a pro? How do we increase the camaraderie? These are the things that have to be thought of. And you have this like relatively vibrant membership. You have, there's 31,000, as Don has told us, members. But, you could probably safely assume that 27,000 of those members, or maybe it's 25,000 of those members, are deeply invested and in love with the game of golf. So how do you, and these are the people that are touch points, the people that are the ones that, grow the game gets kicked around a lot, but they are like the people that teach so many of the people that pick up the game of golf how to play. How do you, like, they're going to be more inspired about the game and teaching the game and getting people into the game if their lives are better.
Yeah. And a lot of them are that with like, that's how passionate they are right now, even with, maybe not being put in a great place or taken care of in the great place. So yeah, I think you're right. The opportunities.
I mean, I would also look at some of the benefits that go to these politicians that reached the top ranks of the PGA. And I'm talking specifically about people like Don Raya. And like, how much money are we spending on people that just got voted to a, make-believe officer position in a trade organization and reappropriating some of the funds so that they're distributed out? How do we go about, I think it goes to like, even like one of the big things for retired PGA pros is the benefits they get at like the PGA Village in Port St. Lucie,
Yeah.
And how do we go about making their retirements better and creating better golf facilities so we can subsidize more of their experience? Like, these are all things that they should be thinking about on how we make this a more appealing job.
I got a lengthy tutorial on the voting process of like how you become a director of a region. How you get to like, by and large, it's developed into a process where a lot of the people who like are hardcore pros, even at maybe not those top 300 places you talked about, like, aren't doing this. They're what the people who are getting in these positions of power, like kind of the career politician types who weren't teaching lessons, or maybe were a little bit and more were driven about like the organizational machinations of the PGA, as opposed to I taught lessons, I was a merchandiser, I was all these things. Like, the people who are getting into power are the ones who have like know the least about the actual, like, and it wasn't that. It wasn't that in the 80s. It wasn't that. It was like I'm hypothetically speaking, the pro at whatever, call it like Marion or something. So it's elite pros that were like in these working there or at Pebble, like these positions of power that were working their way into these, I forget the title, directors or associate AVP, whatever the titles are. That was like the origin, and now it's developed into these just people who aren't pros as much as they understand the sort of the machinery of how to become just a politician of the organization. So anyways, it's a challenge. And then you have the pro events, the Ryder Cup. There's
incredible assets.
There's that persistent rumor, like the PGA Tour Enterprise want to buy the Ryder Cup. That I think that's sort of withered or fallen away, and you have the PGA Championship, which has so much like untapped potential. It's one of four, right? And it just kind of, it ebbs and flows. And what do you want that to be? Could you make that into a challenging? We're going to all the best courses in America or the world or whatever it is. So yeah, incredible opportunity with those two events that take care of your members, that can take care of your memberships.
I mean, the shining example of what you were talking about with who rose to power is Don.
I know.
The guy was a minor league umpire.
I mean, I don't want to like think of the recent presidents. I don't want to call them out by name, but they were like Susie Whaley, like Ted Bishop, like they may be great, accomplished people, but I don't know. Were they like? Do they understand the pro? I don't know. Were they doing that kind of grassroots pro work? Maybe some of them were. I'm not throwing them all in a bucket, but it's just a different kind of role. It's weird how they're structured. That does it. Terry Clark, new PGA CEO. Got other news.
I mean, you think about it, it's a sleeping giant. It has two incredible assets, has been criminally mismanaged for decades. And I think that the hardest thing is going to be getting, and I think this is probably where the Seth Waugh era like kind of hit a roadblock, is getting the PGA pros themselves out of their own way and getting them to understand that if we have to let go of the wheel for this to get into a better situation.
DFL in Phoenix is Thomas Avant, the PGA section pro, 11 over. He's DFL by 5.
Why'd you have to cap it off with that?
I don't understand that anymore. Anyways, of course, because the PGA Tour grew out of the PGA of America. I'm not capping it off, man. I was just trying to figure out, is he Jason Avant's brother? Who is this guy, Thomas Avant? So I looked him up. News, that does it. That's plenty. We have Ryan Moore mule quotes to the Mule Whisperer. We'll talk about that another time. He's mad, but he's also grateful. He's very mad at the lack of opportunities, that the tour doesn't know what the hell they're doing, but he's also grateful he got to sit at home with his family. Like, you got to make up your mind. Your mind. Are you glad your pathway was shut off and there's fewer opportunities to play when you've played for 20 years? Or are you like happy to be home with your family and coaching your kid's soccer team? He did both. He talks about both sides of his mouth.
Just think, though, if they moved the Champs Tour to 45, then he could be out there competing and burning it down.
He won it all. He loves being a shoe salesman, which is like, that's cool. He likes just being home with his family, also cool, but thinks he should be on the Champions Tour eligible, and also thinks it's a disgrace what they've done, taking the playing opportunities away, even though he had 20 years on as a pro. I don't know. So,
I mean, can't you just be happy? You don't hear. I'm trying to think, like, Kirk Heinrich isn't upset at the NBA because he's not playing anymore. It's because he knows, like, I'm not good enough anymore. My body doesn't allow me to compete at that level anymore. Golf is the only place where they think it's their dyed-in-the-wool right to keep playing because they were good 8 years ago.
I need, like, the NBA equivalent of Adam Schupak. I don't know who that is. Whatever. Any of them.
I don't want to insult anybody.
Yeah. Call up Ira Newble. Like,
I don't want to insult. Schupak's great.
Yeah. I'm not trying to insult. I'm trying to think of like some national reporter. I don't know
who just puts down the tape recorder and gets people talking.
Ira Newble. Are you upset you can't get a roster spot and a paycheck anymore? Kevin Ollie.
Did you see this news of Amari Bailey? PJ, has this come across your desk?
I did.
Back to college,
I
right?
did. Well, trying to. He's taking visits this week.
He played in 10 NBA games, and he's attempting to get his eligibility back
for the Hornets
for college basketball.
Hey, can I?
I will say, though, Greg Sankey came out on the Charles Bediako thing and said that he should not be able to play for Alabama. So hand up, as somebody who has been very angry on this podcast at Greg Sankey, thank you to Greg Sankey for doing the right thing.
Can I just call out like these adult coaches, the adults who get up there at these press conferences, Nate Oates amongst them. He seems like a nice guy, great coach. It's just like, these are the rules. Like, I know it's wrong. I don't think it's good. I don't think it's, but this is the world we live in now. And we're going to play within the world we live in now. Like, there are so many things I could do that are within the world I live in that I know are wrong, and I don't do them. You are feeding the beast. That isn't a valid excuse. That isn't a valid reason. I keep hearing, Scuzzy Scott Drew has been forever, saying like, we're playing within like the rules that we've been given. Like, that doesn't make, like, rules are like, wrong is wrong. It's wrong on its face. It's outside the lines, subjectively. I think, like, just be the adult in the room. I think saying that is like such a farce, right? Like, I don't think it's right, but it's within the rules. Well, then do what you think is right. Do what you think is right, because you're just going to feed into it more, because then the guy's going to, keeping up with the Joneses stuff. Like, it's almost, I don't want to say it's like, it's not, I don't know. I've just had it. Like, you're an adult, and you can't say, I know it's wrong. This isn't the way it should be, but it's the rules, so we're doing it. And I have to do it to stay competitive. Like, you don't. It's just irresponsible. That line is not, it's just garbage. I don't know. Either way. But college basketball, college basketball is so screwed up right now. We're just playing by what we have. Anyways.
It feels like a shot across the bow at my Balkans.
Why are they've played a bunch of games in the European leagues?
Yeah, money? But that's fine. That happens all the time. That's not the same thing.
Maybe.
Anyways,
it's like one step to the left.
Honestly, I don't even. I whatever. I care less about the practice than that shoveling us that bullshit. Like, don't even.
You know what I'm here for? Who's going to be the first, like, flamed out Korn Ferry Tour player that attempts to go back?
How long until we
eligibility in college golf?
Well, there's not real NIL money in college golf like there is in college basketball. These guys are collecting.
How do you lose your eligibility? Is a question I have.
That's a good question.
Could I go back and play college golf?
Currently, we don't know. So,
God, this would be an incredible experiment.
I mean, if I had to guess, Wes Bryan might be a guinea pig for this experiment. It's probably based on everything I'm seeing and hearing. So, that does it for this Friday episode. Congrats to Ryan Moore, making news in 2026.
I'm excited to see if Daniel Hillier can stand up to the P.
Become the P read stopper. P read stoppers. A rule book and Freddie shot. Those are the P read stoppers. All right. That does it for this Friday episode of the Shotgun Start. Everyone enjoy your
player to watch this weekend is Tabuna.
Are we recording? When are we recording Sunday? Are we recording Sunday?
I am. I changed my flight. I'm not flying during the Super Bowl anymore. I'm just gonna have. I'm gonna have something on TV and record.
Are you gonna try to sneak it in? What are we doing? We always
try and sneak it in
post Super Bowl or rapid quick.
Last year we did it like we were done as the game like kicked off. It was perfect. America's pregame show.
All right, we'll try it.
We did it live for America's pregame show.
Oh, God.
Did we do it live?
We did it live last year. Literally
live this year?
Show.
I mean, I don't want to and give people options. You want to watch Jack Collinsworth on NBC? You want to watch,
wait, is it NBC this year?
It is an NBC Super Bowl.
Jason Garrett will be on the pregame show. That's must-see TV.
I'll tell you. Who's it? Maria Taylor? Is she the host? Yeah. Maybe we'll do it live. TBD. Everybody enjoy your weekends. We'll talk to you on Sunday or Monday.